We've got the Mi Note 10 Lite up against its bigger brother, the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro, and let's put the iPhone in there to see where the differences are, because actually you'll see that the two Xiaomi phones, even though they are different and come at different price points, actually do have a very similar style, which is not unsurprising considering they're from the same brand. All video is shot at 4K 30 frames a second. The standout for me here is the dynamic range, and you can see that the very light background is just a little bit overblown on the Mi 10 Lite, whereas on the other two phones they're doing a slightly better job. But overall, actually a pretty small difference between them anyway. Colors are really good between them. Focusing is no issue. I think the yellow actually stands out more on the Mi 10 Lite here. I do see a lot of detail in the sign as well in all of the phones, and you can just see how much wider the angle of the video is on the iPhone as compared to the two Xiaomi phones, but there's no real problems with any of the phones here. You can shoot wide angle video on all of them, which is great, and it's really good to have that functionality in a cheap phone like the Mi 10 Lite. It's only 1080p on the Mi 10 Lite in the ultra wide camera. The other two can record 4K off that ultra wide camera. The dark areas do seem a little bit crushed off the ultra wide camera, but overall it's good to have the function anyway. Having an ultra wide camera on the Mi 10 Lite is something the phone has over a lot of other phones at the same price that maybe just have the singular camera at the back there. Overall, the quality is definitely good enough to actually make use of that thing. It's not just another camera to say that they have it. I think you can definitely get some good shots out of it. Zooming in video, it does go up to 6 times zoom, actually the same as the other two phones. I can see a difference in zoom. There are no zoom cameras on the Mi 10 Lite. You get the zoom cameras on the other two. So let's test out that zoom. This is the main camera image, and striking how similar the images look. Some slight differences in colors. Moving through to 2 times zoom, and this is an option that you can choose in the camera app on all of the phones. Looking at this picture closely and at the original files as well, the Mi 10 Pro does benefit from having those dedicated zoom lenses. Definitely it does hold a lot more detail, all the way up to even 10 times, but this is 5 times zoom here. Then into 10 times, yes, the Mi 10 Pro, for me anyway, does pull ahead in terms of the resolution of the image. It just has the benefit of that really long zoom range. Dynamic range in this picture though was really great in all of the phones, I think. The iPhone just kept a little bit of detail in the clouds in the background, which the other two missed, but differences definitely are very minor. Both the Xiaomi devices have dedicated macro modes, which did quite well here. So let's move on to video and stabilization for video. And the Mi Note 10 Lite just uses electronic image stabilization. Both the iPhone and the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro do have optical image stabilization on there as well. But as you can see, just a walking test here. All three of them are pretty decent, and when I start running, I actually think all phones do a pretty good job, but definitely without optical image stabilization, the Mi Note 10 Lite does hold up pretty well against the other two. Selfie camera stabilization, Xiaomi phones do not really pay attention to it too much, and you can see slightly wobbly on the Mi Note 10 Lite. But to be honest, it isn't too different to what you get on the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro, which is a lot more expensive. So they are very similar in terms of what they give you. The iPhone just stabilizing that image electronically really well, and it definitely stands out as the most stable image of the three here. Shooting off the back cameras though, so you can just take a look at if you were shooting someone else, what their skin tones would be like, and you can see the stabilization on the lenses on the back is way better. Really stable, almost looking like it's on a gimbal, so definitely much more stable. And I actually like the dynamic range on my face more on the Mi Note 10 Lite here over the Mi 10 Pro. And yet another example that you can get really good shots off the Mi Note 10 Lite's selfie camera. I think the light and shadow across my face is looking pretty natural. I also think the wide angle lens does hold up pretty well when it comes to photography. It's good to have the option on a phone that is cheaper than the other two. This is the iPhone with its really wide angle lens, and then moving into the Mi Note 10 Lite and also into the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro. Some slight differences in style and colors between them. The camera app itself behaves a lot like the more expensive Mi 10 Pro. So you've got the 2 times zoom, the main, and going into the ultra wide as well. If you're recording video, once you're recording video, you can only choose 1 times and zoom. If you want to go onto that ultra wide, you do have to stop video, go to the ultra wide, and then start recording again. I've also been pretty impressed with the night mode on the Mi Note 10 Lite. This is just a normal photo mode, and you can see how dark it was it was actually even darker than this. And then moving into night mode, no question about it, definitely helps the picture out and makes it look better. The Mi 10 Pro definitely steps it up a level when it comes to creating a lighter image. Comparing all three night modes together, and you can see it was really dark. They have all introduced a little bit of noise into the shot, but no doubt about it, using night mode definitely helps to brighten up those images in really low light conditions. So that's it, the Mi Note 10 Lite versus its bigger brother and way more expensive brother, the Mi 10 Pro, and the iPhone 11 Pro as well. Let me know what you think in the comments. Which one do you think did it best? Subscribe for all the latest tech news and videos. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.